mynews.studio.
India has seen a dramatic drop in multidimensional poverty, hundreds of millions fewer people living with deprivation. Can other countries take any lessons from this experience?
Right. And just to set the stage, today's date is 2025-706. Let's look at the numbers for a moment. According to a report from the United Nations Development Program and the Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative, 415 million people in India escaped multidimensional poverty between 2005-06 and 2019-21. That's a decline from over 55% of the population to just 16.4%. So, what actually drove such a large shift?
Two major policies come up a lot. The first is the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, MGNREGA. It promised every rural household up to 100 days of paid work per year, and importantly, it was a legal guarantee. That turned out to be crucial during crises like droughts. The second is the midday meal scheme, free lunches in government schools. That improved nutrition and boosted attendance, especially for children from marginalized backgrounds.
So these weren't just cash handouts. NGNREGA put money directly into rural households, but also acted as a broader safety net. And the midday meal scheme, it targeted both hunger and education at once. Do we know how much these programs changed rural poverty specifically?
Yes, the numbers are quite striking. Rural poverty fell from 18.4% in 2011-12 to just 2.8% by 2022-23. That's a steep drop. Both national data and World Bank reports link this directly to those policies. You see improvements in living standards, less hunger, and more children in school.
But it's not the whole picture, is it? I mean, there are big differences depending on the state. For example, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, they started with the highest poverty rates. Even though they've seen the biggest reductions, they still have large numbers of people living in poverty.
Exactly. And there's also a gap between rural and urban areas. In 2022-23, rural poverty was 2.8%, urban poverty only 1.1%. Plus, marginalized groups like scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and women still face higher deprivation. The government's response has been to introduce more targeted welfare and to expand access to education and healthcare, especially in those regions.
How about keeping up the progress? What's being done to stop people from falling back into poverty, especially if there's another shock?
That's a major focus right now. Policymakers are increasing social protection through direct benefit transfers, food security programs, employment guarantees. There's also an emphasis on providing better education and healthcare. And job creation is a priority, particularly in rural and semi-urban areas. Support for micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs, has grown too.
Is technology having an effect?
Yes, digital tools are playing a bigger role. Digital IDs help make sure subsidies and benefits go to the right people. This improves efficiency and helps close the gaps that remain.
Looking beyond India, why does this matter globally? What can the rest of the world take away from this?
India is the world's most populous country. If it can lift 415 million people out of poverty in 15 years, it shows that coordinated large-scale policies can work. Other countries facing poverty and inequality might see this as a blueprint. The main lesson: invest in health, education, and social safety nets, and be ready to adapt over time.
But there are still challenges: regional differences, persistent deprivation in some groups, and the risk of setbacks if progress slows. So the story isn't finished yet. The real question is, can India maintain the momentum? And what practical lessons can other nations really apply?
That's the real test. The data shows targeted multi-sector policies can work, but they require persistence and flexibility.
Just to sum up, multidimensional poverty in India fell from 55% to 16% in 15 years. Programs like MGNREGA and the midday meal scheme played a central role. There's been major progress, but gaps remain, especially by region and group. Keeping that progress will need ongoing investment and new approaches.
Thanks for listening. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. Try it now for free.